Hi everyone, I'm Gio. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. So today is Monday, January 26th, and as of today, I have 1,025 days clean. So that means that on January 1st, I had a huge milestone, and that was to hit my 1,000th day clean. I don't know how many people in the world that have been in active addiction for a good part of their lives can say that when they quit, when they got out, when they stopped using, that their 1,000th day clean happened on the first of a year. But that's the case for me. It's my 1,000th day clean, January 1st, 2026. So that means that April 7th, 2023 was my last day of use, and 1,000 days later happens to be January 1st, 2026. Couldn't have planned it better if I tried. But it's amazing how much my life has changed in those 1,000 days. Like my life has changed in every way imaginable. Recently I got my birth certificate in the mail. I haven't had like a good birth certificate, a real copy of my birth certificate 30 years, probably, maybe longer, maybe 35, maybe 40. I don't know. Most of my life, I never had a real birth certificate. All I had was this little copy and a little copy of my Social Security card because I lost them pretty early on in life. But now I just got my real birth certificate in the mail. So I went down and now I'm getting my enhanced license, where I can go across the border and stuff, like just things like that. I set a goal that I wanted to get an enhanced license because I want to be able to go up through Canada the next time I go to Michigan to go see my mother because it's actually shorter. I don't understand how it would be shorter to go through Canada to go to Michigan, but it is. So I set that goal. I want to get an enhanced license, but I have to get a birth certificate because that's the only way you can do it. The only way I can get a birth certificate being born in Korea is to send a letter to, the council of something and send a money order, and I don't even know if it's really going to go there. I don't know if any of that is real, but I did it. I filled out everything I had to. I sent it out. I waited 4 or 5 months and I got my birth certificate and I went right down and I applied and now I'm getting my enhanced license. So it's just things like that, setting a goal and accomplishing it, things that I would never do, obviously, if I was in active addiction, because none of that would matter. I wouldn't even have a license if I was in active addiction. But in 1,000 years, in 1,000 days, not 1,000 years, 1,000 days, I went from being, what I heard recently was I went from being a heathen to being holy. Now, I live my life every minute of every day, basically trying to keep God in mind, in everything that I do. I'm not perfect by any means. I watch way too much TV. I watch way too much sports. I do, but there's a lot of things I do well. I speak well. You'll never hear me curse. You'll never hear me lie. You'll never hear me talk negatively about someone. I'm going to talk in an uplifting way at all times. And that's a great thing to say and to mean, when I say it. I know no matter what, I have my daughter in my life. We have my stepdaughter now and my other daughter that I haven't spoken to in such a long time. She turned 18 recently, and I was hoping at some point in time there might be a reunion between me and her. I haven't talked to her since she was 7. I miss her so much. But for so much of my life, I wasn't good. I wouldn't have been good for her to be in her life. So I let her go. And then I signed over rights of her. But I know now that no matter what, when the time is right and she wants to speak to me, I know I'll be ready for it. I know that there's nothing that's going to make it so I'm not ready to be a part of her life again. And I know that no matter what, I will be a positive influence in her life. And I know that anyone that I meet, anyone that I interact with, anyone who I have a relationship with, I will be a positive influence in their lives as well. And that's an amazing thing to say after so much of my life being an addict. So much of my life was about feeding my addiction and just getting by each and every day. Now I live life with goals and I live life trying to better myself, and recently I started a new job. And at my job, I haven't missed 1 minute of work, obviously. And I've been the same person each and every day that I'm there. I'm the same hard worker. I can put forth the same amount of effort each and every day. Nothing is going to take away from that because my life is stable now. So I'm not doing something where I'm out drinking all night. So now I go to work and I'm not the same person. No, none of those things happen. I'm on a routine. I get up, I work out, I take care of myself. I eat well. I work on all these things about myself. I read my Bible. I go to church, all these things that I do that are good for me, good for my body, good for my soul, good for my health. And these are the things that I work on in my life now. I have the same phone number for 3 years now. I haven't missed a phone bill. My credit score is, up 700 or so. I haven't missed a payment on anything. Like, if anything, I'm paying everything weeks early before it's even due now. And that's an awesome thing. For a lot of my life, I didn't pay any bills at all. And I just waited till, rent would come due, and I'm going to scramble. I'm going to try to borrow money. I'm going to hopefully get this to work out, this to work out, this to work out. If it doesn't work out, then I'm just kind of ducking the landlord, whatever, trying to get by as long as I can. I lived my life like that for a long time. I live my life where every day I'm just waiting for this power to be shut off today. I'm just waiting, today could be the day that my power gets shut off. That's not a fun way to live. It's really, really not, or waiting for, is this the day that my cable gets shut off and I no longer have TV to watch, whatever it is. But just when your only focus is to get high each and every day, to get whatever it is, whether it was pills, I want to feel better. I want to feel better. And then when I feel better, I'll address some of these issues I have. That was how I lived for so long. But no matter what, it was never a time to address issues because I never felt good enough to do that. And then if you're just always chasing each and every day, chasing, and that's just a terrible position to be in life, when you have to have something to make you feel, when you have to have something that dictates how you feel each and every day. That's not a good way to live. And I'm just so happy that, 1,000 days later, I can say that, that still there's nothing that is going to break me. There's nothing that's going to change, how I am each and every day. There's nothing that's going to dictate how I feel besides myself. And I like that very, very much. I like that. And I recently read about having faith, that when you have faith, when you have true faith, that your life can be happy each and every day. And truly, my life is happy each and every day. Now, I don't have that level of excitement that I once had. When I'm using drugs, when I'm going out, I'm copping, I'm getting this amount of stuff, I'm going to have this kind of night. I don't have that no more, but I have stability now. I wake up feeling the same way each and every day. I go to bed feeling the same way each and every day. I go to work feeling the same way each and every day. And that's fine. That's good enough for me. I had all that. I don't need any of that anymore. I just want to do good in life, and I want to be a good, positive person, and I want to leave a legacy that I can be proud of. I want to lead a life I can be proud of. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's only going to get better from here. I've accomplished so much in these past 2.5 years, since I got clean, and since, I got out of jail. I took care of all my stuff. I took care of everything. And now, now I have a house, we have a car, we have all these things we're working on. Like I said, these goals, I'm going to go on a trip this year. These are all amazing, amazing things. And now when I go start this new job, no matter what I do, I know I'm going to be the same person at it, where I can put forth the same amount of effort. I can be the same level attitude, the same level, just the person that I am is going to be good for whatever I do. And just to know that, and to be absolutely certain about that. And nothing's going to change that. Nothing's going to affect that. I won't let anything affect that. I'm going to be this person. And that's an awesome, awesome, awesome position to be in life. And it took, it didn't take the full 1,000 days, because it happened a little while before now, obviously. But after 1,000 days, just how strong I am in my conviction of my happiness, in my conviction of faith, in my conviction of life now. It's awesome. Awesome way to be. And I hope that everyone can get to this point. I keep on seeing my friends go back to jail, out of jail, go back to jail, and it's sad. I would hate to be just starting out this journey where I'm at right now. After 1,000 days, I'd hate to be at the beginning of this. I would never want to go back and do that ever again. I don't want to go backwards. I waited long enough to get to this point that I'll never backslide. I'll never go back to that spot again. But anyone out there who's struggling, anyone out there who's going through it, you're going to want to change at some point. So I'm telling you that the sooner you do it, the sooner you can get to the 1,000th day mark, because you don't want to keep looking back. And the only thing I wish is that I could have done it sooner, is that I wish that I had experienced enough of that life sooner before I did, so I didn't have to wait so long. So I don't have to be 47 years old saying I'm 1,000 days clean. I wish that I was 41. I wish I was 40. I wish I was 25 saying I'm 1,000 days clean and this is the person I'm going to be. But overall, I'm thankful that I am where I'm at right now, and that nothing is going to ever deter me from being where I'm at now and from going forward. I'm so thankful and so grateful for that and the person that I am now. But I do wish everyone the absolute best. I want everyone to find this happiness that I have in life now, and the stability I have in life, and just the contentment that I have in life now. I hope that everyone can get to that point. I really, really, really do. And for everyone out there still struggling, there is hope. That's what my life is proof of, that there is hope. There is hope that there's a better way. There is hope that you can get out. There is hope that you can change. There is hope that you can change the way that people look at you, because I was, one of the worst that there were. I really, really was. Like I said, as far as going into a store, I lived my life by taking from stores. That was how I survived for years of my life. That was how I got by. And now it's no more. Now I can walk into every one of those stores and no one looks at me at all in any sort of a negative kind of tone. So that's a nice thing to be. But remember, as nice as it is to be important, it's way more important to be nice. And I wish everyone the best. God bless you all. I love you all. God bless you.